Lap that was disallowed. We knew he had dropped onto the green through the fast corner, so extra work. It will affect their strategy, but Ramon Forcada is really good in not using
him to have to jump over, isn't it, in this interesting season that he's got ahead of him. However, we've seen that he's got great pace as long as he doesn't get
his rhythm, making that medium tyre work on the rear of the bike, but also fast with the soft rear for that one lap time attack. So it's just the extra of
the 8-time world champion Marc Marquez. And if you are just joining us, had a big crash this morning, went to hospital, came back, has been declared fit.
Shootout here. 2 places, of course, remain in the qualifying final. Who's going to take the top 2 spots? And of course, decide on. We know that his lap time was taken away, second lap taken away. So Morbidelli in this session, alongside Marc Marquez, just moments ago. I wouldn't like to pick 2 riders from this.
Well,
Morbidelli I'd like to pick.
I would say it's who the next
rider
+1.
is. Who's going to take us his +1 to...
I'm going to go for Binder.
Right, okay. That FP4, 10th fastest for him in the 4th pre-practice session when they were looking towards race settings again, pushing the front, try and get through to the qualifying final.
I can't see Marc going through, only because to go through, you're going to have to ride to your absolute...
An affirmative of, oh yes I can, oh yes I will. This is where he and Pol Espargaro have both been played, and yeah, it made an air fence. It's not like a big pillow of feathers, is it, at the end there? It's still like hitting a concrete wall.
You into them, they're horrible really, but
they are made to slightly deflate to give that extra cushion effect, so on and so forth, as Frankie gets it square. Look who's just gone top beyond him though.
Wow.
Marc Marquez, 37.4, 2 Repsol Hondas.
He has.
Did a 37.3 earlier today, but we think lap times, look at that black line that he's leaving on.
Didn't he?
Oh, he's sat up almost.
Coming down, heading now to the last corner.
Santi Hernandez.
You've got the helmets on again.
But I'm with you. I've been privy to wearing one, looking like a Super Mario character down.
Going to be tight.
So here we come through this turn 11. This is where we just saw that slow motion shot of Marc Marquez. There you can see.
No. Not even he could bring that one back. I'm glad he didn't try, otherwise he'd have been down, I think.
How much time did he lose in there? Binder goes top with Marc to join Frankie Morbidelli.
So Frankie Morbidelli's had a very disappointing first run, hasn't he?
Well, he had to. So maybe there's still going to be a bit of life in those tyres yet. Interesting.
Strange.
Interesting, though. There we are. Only rider on medium tyres. Not interesting at all.
Whatever makes you happy, Gav.
Comes into the stadium. But we have seen it, haven't we, this weekend? He has actually been quicker on the race option, really.
Yeah.
And he's got the pace.
Never saw where it was on the track. That's impressive. That is impressive.
Pulled it back round there in the last sector of track.
Frankie is going to have to come in now and put a soft in if he wants to go through.
Yeah, but maybe then what he's doing is he's saving
tyre. No, yeah.
Because as it stands, we'll be starting on the 5th row of the grid in 13th place. Still going to have another go. Santi Hernandez is up in the final sector, and I absolutely...
He blew the last corner,
in the last corner, yeah.
Yeah, just got his brake marker, just tried to pin as your marker, and if you try and just brake a fraction later than him, he's the last of the late breakers, and at that point, we call it being sucked into a corner, you just...
So 37.35 for Brad Binder. I don't think that's enough.
No, me neither.
Especially with P4. He had a similar crash to Marc Marquez's this morning at turn 7, 120 miles an hour. Thankfully didn't tumble.
Cookie, isn't it?
Brave, isn't he, Pol Espargaro? And not afraid to crash. Well, he has had a lot of them over the years into the final corner.
And this will be worth watching if the director stays with him for a few corners, because he's all action anyway at the best of times, and we knew that.
A tendency, doesn't he, to override sometimes with Pol Espargaro.
No wonder he never really got on with that Yamaha, if you think about the Yamaha years. Be all action if you watch him. We need a heart rate monitor on him.
I reckon it'd be in the 200s.
I'd love to see.
Not that he's all over the track and just out of touch with...
This is the crash, the crash corner. No.
He's got Lecuona behind him.
Yeah.
And then Oliveira behind him.
Oh, lost the front, he saved it. Still got that front brake on, loading the front brake off there. You can see him let go of it, touches the throttle, and at that point the front goes and saves it on his knee.
The rookie, there he is, number 23, Moto2 world champion, not far off. Halfway round.
I've not seen much of him this year. Again,
he might have got the headlines, but Bastianini's doing the hard yards of work in the background. And those 3-point scoring finishes, a final sector is where you can really lose time around here, because you've got those fast right-handers of Crivier and Ferrari. So, up the home straight now.
So he has got a target, and he's going to have attempt number 2. Can he make it round turn 1 this time?
Yeah, Yeah, looked like he was able to drop it in. He's going to knock this out the park now. This is him sealing his passage through to Q2 without a doubt, surely.
Yeah.
1:36.9. That is the...
Impressive lap time, that. Especially as the temperatures got up. We saw in a lot of the other classes, the riders find it difficult to match the lap times.
Up into 7th place, Valentino Rossi. That would be 17th on the grid.
So Oliveira's on a good lap, which will, if he continues...
Up in hospital back in Spain.
Oliveira's backed out of it.
Everyone's forced to pick up here because they're all following each other. They're all... So Rossi will get one more go around up behind his team. Well, yeah, one off.
Oh yeah, this will be enough.
That's enough to replace his teammate, but he's behind Binder, isn't he? And Binder also is motoring. Who's Marc Marquez?
Yeah, Alex Marquez is going to get in the way at the last corner for Brad Binder, but maybe not. Yeah, he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. It's going to be tight.
Oh, they touched. They touched. That was like one of those we've seen at the top of into the pits. Miguel Oliveira did improve, but not enough. Pol Espargaro takes the checkered flag. He was the only one with any hope of getting in amongst the top 2 spots, but Marc Marquez will start.
The body language said it all, didn't it, really? A bit of a slow walk back. Definitely not happy at all. I don't know what he could...
For the grid, he was up into the top positions, wasn't he, right from the start of the race? But unfortunately from 15th, well, and you want them to continue. Brad is a Sunday man, and what he keeps saying is, if we can find our way up the grid, I'll be in.
Got out into the gravel. We didn't see the first part of it, and I tell you what, it launched him, proper ragdolled him. Yeah, Mark's not... no, it's turn 8.
Director something to show, so Marc Marquez misses out on Q2, as does his teammate Pol Espargaro, going through on the...
Yeah, right. An intake of breath on that moment out. We talked about his contract earlier in the programme. If we just read out ride with a 2019 bike. I live in the past trying to make the past work in the present. Now, Stiggy seemed quite confident.
1+1 means there's an option on both sides. So if the team aren't happy with Frankie, they can let him go. If Frankie isn't happy with the team, he can find somewhere else to sit Frankie in the future. And obviously, he's letting his frustrations be known that he's been left behind. He was Yamaha's top man last year, 2nd in the championship, and he's on inferior equipment.
There's a story there, an underlying story, and clearly he is biffed. This is a man that Neil said wouldn't be in a...
There could be that swap that could happen within those contracts, or they could actually break the contract if it goes bad. But we're talking about the man who won the laps in free practice 4. He's got the bike working. He has the ability to challenge Fabio for pole position here. It could well be a Yamaha lockout in the front row.
Beyond Fabio Quartararo this weekend, his pace has been significantly faster than most of the rest of the field. Takaaki Nakagami was faster than him for the Spanish Grand Prix. Aleix Espargaro's had a couple of crashes this afternoon already during the 4th session. Earlier today, you had to be within 0.2 of a second of Takaaki Nakagami's time.
Yeah, if you were any slower than that, you was qualifying session was going to be brilliant.
So we've just seen in Q1, Franco Morbidelli set the fastest time of that session. He did a 1.
When he agrees to actually answer some of your questions, it's just an honour in life. 15 times world champion Giacomo Agostini.
Somewhere around there, but again, also thoroughly affable chap.
Yes, he really is. Well,
he also knows that he's been...
So this is my man for pole position. I'm throwing a curveball. Like yep. And I hear what Michael's saying, and I do know.
Remember, he was battling all the way up through the field, up into 2nd place, and then his bike expired. So something about perhaps he was leaving it in 3rd gear, where others might have been going up into 4th.
Okay,
he's just leaving it in 3rd to help bring it through. Is he on the right? I mean, I could tell, even though they've got the masks on.
You can tell they're smiling. Davide Tardozzi, you can look into his eyes, you know, a team manager.
He is. You'll have known that firsthand, won't you, working with Davide Tardozzi in the past? During practice just now, and yes. It is a 1:36.807 for Fabio Quartararo. First blow in the way he's speaking about his 19 bike, saying that he's trying to make the past work in the present.
What being going
on about it? I love the way you put that in your Northwest terminology. Morbidelli up into 2nd place, Miller into Nakagami. You wouldn't rule him out of a shot of putting it onto the front row. If there's someone who can extract the best out of their bike on one lap, it's replacement, but only get 1 tyre replacement if you go through from Q1 into Q2. Vinales into 5th place.
As the last 2 tracks we've been on.
So Fabio Quartararo has set the... But still will get another go as they all come. There he is, number 63, Bagnaia, his big pal, Frankie behind him.
The new generation.
I don't know, they just feel cultured, don't they, in some way, both Pecco and Frankie Morbidelli. Thoughtful in that.
So your Malandra is... These two Italians are totally different. You're right,
Max Biaggi, for example.
Max Biaggi, what a great example, yeah. He was a hard character to have to deal with at the racetracks through his prime. Very spiky individual.
She was. You know, I was quite lucky, I think, with him for some reason. I don't know why.
Maybe he just liked you, Gav, that lovely sort of joke.
Possibly, quite possibly. Like being interviewed by Mr. Soft. Right, so 6 minutes to go in this.
St. Paul, because
even Bradle down in 11th.
Yeah, maybe not Bradle. Okay, maybe not Bradle, but you know what? We know what Zarco's like.
I will say third fastest Bradle.
The season is this the starting point for him, where if he can grab a pole position. Aleix Espargaro's only quarter of a second off.
Circuit. We are in for a fine 5 minutes.
Oh, and it's the best feeling ever. Minimum commitment. There is not a better feeling.
And you could see that commitment there from Joan Mir, the world champion, through turn 5 over Sito Pons. It starts just before turn 5 and ends just before turn 6.
As we've seen though as we've learned, let's say, over the last couple of years, this is the builder lap. Get as close to his fastest time as he can get and then pull the pin on the next one.
I did notice that Quartararo is getting a warning. He's being followed by Aleix Espargaro, and Aleix can play the good part of a caravan, can't he?
You would not want that.
3 minutes, still 3 minutes to go. I think there is a possibility also to get a couple of laps out of these tyres. We have seen that at points this week. I think to turn the wick up on his second lap out there. He's only 400ths outside. It's going to start to get a little bit giddy at the end of this pole.
And it's everything you've got, Gavin. Everything. And you will risk more. You enter the...
Joan Mir rounds the final corner as Morbidelli goes under the flying saucer, but just unable to take top spot from his form. That might be his goose cooked.
Which we've seen him...
Oh, a little twitch for Maverick.
He managed to get 3 laps out of it, Mir, but I can't see him going faster than he...
Jerez.
I think it's too much.
Well, let's have a see. We're on board with Fabio Quartararo, championship leader. Ducati up the home straight. What's Jack Miller got here? Underneath he goes. Front row. Front row for Jack Miller, 36 Grand Prix, which is awful to see this helicopter shot, and you don't get the fireworks going off, you don't get the air horns being sounded. Up the home straight, up the hill now. Can Quartararo improve? He does. Quartararo pole position, checker flag behind. Can he get onto the front row of the grid? Perhaps.
Well, he's way down in 10th now, so it's such an important lap for him.
Round of this season. Here he comes, up the home straight now. Where does Pecco go? Into 4th, heading up row 2. Can't see anyone else is going to make any impression on that front row. Maverick Vinales is half a second off on his...
Do you know what, that Yamaha, every practice start he's had has been awful this weekend.
A lap time has gone, but thankfully his earlier lap 3 of 8, means he stays on the front row of the grid. He's lost 3 laps already today. You'd fancy the chances of the Ducati getting in there.
It's weird.
That's away. It looked like wind, didn't it?
I was just about to say it looks like it's really windy, but we know it's not.
There's a bit of a breeze, but not enough to do that kind of thing.
2019 bike, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I could watch that again.
Yeah, saves it on his elbow. That's seriously impressive. In 3rd place, he will be on the... So the way they line up on the grid
on the inside, will it be? Yeah, absolutely. You can't believe how quickly you can start to lose a little bit of confidence. Those 2 9th places and a crack, but yeah, I think you could sense Jack's head was just starting to go down ever so slightly. So yeah, that's clearly the limit. I love the body language of the riders. It's like, yeah, it's happening.
4th consecutive.
Nice to be back here, and I know it's only qualifying, but it's one step closer for tomorrow.
Great to see you back, Jack.
Thanks, cheers, mate.
The tires, maybe with the medium front, I had a bit better feeling, but also with the soft was not so good.
It was okay, so yeah, happy, and let's see what we can do for tomorrow, but I'm feeling good.